key to stimulating muscle growth is the intensity of the exercise.
Hammers. Build your body and your bank. Check out how to earn 10K per month plus with my Business Intelligence Finance Technology Consultant Training Accelerator program. Link in the description. It's Hassan. Welcome back to Hammer Fitness. My microphone, it had a malfunction, it didn't work, so apologies. I'm just going to do a quick voiceover. So the question we're exploring in this channel, is it possible to put on 50 pounds of muscle naturally and obtain the golden era physique? Now, why should you listen to me on this topic? In my teens, I bodybuilded for 3 years, and I wanted to do it competitively until I realized you need steroids to do it competitively, and I was not on board. So that plan was out, and I took a 10-year break. But in the 3 years, I got to about 150 to 160 pounds, 8% body fat, and really good physique. I was actually bodybuilder of the week on bodybuilding.com. So it was a pretty impressive physique I built up over a decade ago in my teens. Now, I quit because I was demotivated. 10 years later or so, I restarted and I trained for 3 years. So the first year I did just cardio, 15 minutes a day, 7 days a week. I climbed stairs. And I went from about 145 pounds skinny fat, I had gotten really out of shape, to about 127 to 130 pounds of very lean but conditioned, maybe 9-10% body fat. After that, the bug hit me again and I started training, and over the next 24 months I put on a solid 40 pounds of muscle. That's at the exact same body fat percentage. You can click on my banner. You can see the before and after pictures. The before pictures, I'm quite skinny, but you can still see veins on my arms. And the after pictures, I'm 40 pounds heavier. There's still similar body fat. So that's why, because I think I figured out a way that definitely allows you to put on 40 pounds of muscle naturally. I'm going for 50, and that's what I'm documenting here on this channel. Over the years, I did get an opportunity to experiment with a lot of training styles, and some of them led to plateauing. Back when I used to train as a teenager, everything was going well when I was pushing very hard, and then I overly researched. There was a train of thought in the research where it prioritized not pushing to failure all of the time. And I listened to all of this. I added more sets and a whole bunch of stuff. I plateaued and I stopped. So when I restarted, I thought about what worked for me, and I did some research. I did a lot of research with Athlean-X channel, with Jeff Nippard's channel, and a bunch of others just to get myself up and running. And I decided to go with lots of supersets, drop sets, partial reps, and so on. And the results are fantastic. So that's one element. The second element is I drank 3 protein shakes a day, each with a scoop of creatine. And I consider this absolutely mandatory. You got to do it now. We'll jump into the workout and then I'll demonstrate exactly how I have been training. Here, I'm going to be doing my warm up. And I do this before every workout, which is 20 reps of hack squats. So after putting on 40 pounds of muscle, the last 10 pounds, I have to get strategic because it became harder to pack on muscle. And what I noticed really helps is if I hit legs very hard. So typically I train chest back off, arms off, legs off. But for warm up, I put in 20 rep of hack squats, full range of motion, and I'm hitting my legs very hard. So I hit them hard on leg day. I go bananas on legs on leg day. So I do 20 rep hack squats with 3 plates, and then I do drop sets with 3 plates, 2 plates, 1 plate. And that's on leg day, but on every workout I'm doing 20 rep hack squats, which is what you're going to see me do here. Full range of motion is key, so you'll see that I go all the way up, all the way down, and then hitting legs extra hard as a natural athlete is absolutely needed because it releases natural testosterone. These are the natural steroids that will get you to grow. Now, when I first started, I just did 25 pounds, 9 sets, 20 reps with hack squats for legs. That was enough to get my legs to absolutely blow up. But now that I'm in more of an advanced phase, this is what I've put into the workout. So I'll do this and then we'll jump into the actual workout. And I do like to keep the workout limited to about an hour and 15 minutes. So I'll do this hack squat right here. And the voiceover ends when the actual workout starts at shoulders. So just bear with me. The mic wasn't working, but I did catch it. So Yeah, one more voiceover and then we'll start the normal conversation. Okay, so we finished doing the warm-up, which is the 20 rep of hack squats with 2 plates, full range of motion. And the next thing I do for warm-up, which I think is really productive and very effective, is I do 1 set of maximum rep pull-ups. So I've been doing this for a while now, but pretty much on every workout except chest and back, because I'll do pull-ups there anyways. I'll do a maximum set of pull-ups, and I've been doing this for over 2 years, and now I can get to about 18 pull-ups. And I'll do these, and at the end, the intensity technique will be partials. So I'll be doing 18 normal pull-ups and then partials, and it's just super effective. Pull-ups are the king of exercise, and doing them often is just a good thing. So that concludes the warm-up. All right, we're going to start with shoulders, and for the first set, I like to use 20 pounds and do 20 reps, nice and clean. What I call the ignition set that I got from Athlean-X, and pretty much you are pre-exhausting the muscle for the working sets. And then the working sets will be 2 supersets, each with a drop set and each with partial reps. Okay, so for the working set, 30 pounds, 16 full reps, 16 partial reps, and then the same with the 20-pound dumbbell. Now these are hard to overload. After like a year, I went from 25 to 30 pounds. So I'm mainly concerned about proper technique and overloading that way and using rest pauses. Okay, I'll take a rest pause at 12. Pretty much that's failure. But with a 5-second rest pause, I can get some more. Okay, that's 16, and then partials. Okay, and then the same thing with 20-pound dumbbells. Now, this has been my main shoulder movement for over 2 years now. And shoulders are one of my strongest body parts. But the crazy thing is I'm not even doing overhead press. So these partials and drop sets are highly effective. And the shoulders are on fire. That's 5 so far. All right, 9. 7 more to go. I know this from my progressive overload notes. So I'm at 13. All right, and then partials. These may not look like much, but with the drop set and all of that, they definitely are. All right, one more set like that.
All right, so I time my rest period 1 minute and 45 seconds I take for shoulders. I do like to keep the rest period constant because otherwise how do I know if I'm progressively overloading or not if I'm varying the rest period. And then for this one, it's 17 plus 13 and 13 plus 13 for working set number 2. Okay, that's 9. I'm gonna take a rest pause. These rest pause techniques are super effective, and this is exactly what I did to put on the 40 pounds of muscle. Supersets, rest pauses, partial reps. Okay, another rest pause at 12. That may seem hard to believe, but I was at 130 when I started, and I'm at 170 now. My body fat stayed constant. So it was a proper 40 pounds. It was actually 127 to 173, so a little bit over that. Okay, so shoulders are a failure, and they're definitely weaker than the last workout because I took an extra day off, so I need to do 2 workouts in a row to make up for it, but I can feel it in my shoulders. But I'll use the rest pause. All right, there we go. Then partials. And then drop set to 20 pounds and then 13 plus 13. Now the other thing I do is I have been religiously drinking 3 protein shakes per day for over 2 years now, each with a scoop of creatine. So the intensity techniques combined with the protein shakes, and that's all it took. And the frequency was every other day, although I'm working out every 3rd day right now because of scheduling constraints. But I'm still making gains, even every 3rd day, because the intensity is there. Okay, take a rest pause at 17 or 7. These rest pauses means that even if you didn't get the failure the first time, after the rest pause you probably will. By the time you hit partials, you've hit failure a few times. So in essence, intensity techniques allow you to train beyond failure, which is why they're great. All right, we're done with shoulders. We're gonna do triceps. All right, time for some triceps. So for here, set 1 is ignition set, again, pre-exhaustion. And I do 20 reps, full stretch at the bottom, plus partial reps if I can, if they're not exhausted by the end. Okay, so I'm at failure at 18. But what I'll do is I'll transfer the load to my shoulders and my lats by protracting the shoulder blades forward and then do a couple of more. Okay, that's 19 and a half, and then partials. That's supposed to be an ignition set, but that's pretty much failure. Now I have added some diamond push-ups that I'm doing when I'm working on my computer at home if I didn't make it to the gym that day. For example, yesterday I need to make up for it, so I still try not to skip, but the diamond push-ups plus this, really effective. This on its own, I think I'm gonna have to change it a bit because I'm getting kind of used to it. Okay, next set will be the working set. Okay, so this is 50 pounds and 27.5 pounds. I'm gonna do 8 full reps and then partials for this weight. All right, that's 6. I need 2 more. All right, 7. I'm gonna take a rest pause. Oh, that was a sloppy rep. All right, 8 and partials. Okay, I'll take a rest pause, but you can see why partials are so effective because I was at total failure, and then I'm doing little micro reps at the most stretched part of the muscle, where it is at the most stretched part, it is structurally the weakest. So when you load it there, it's super effective. I believe that's the reason. So these partials may not look like much, but they're occurring at failure. So there are actually quite a lot. What I'm trying to say is they're super effective. Don't skip. All right, at 6, I will protract my shoulder blades forward, flare my lats, transfer the loads onto them so I can take a rest pause and try to do more. Okay, they're at failure. I'm gonna do partials. Okay, 1 more for triceps after a 1 minute and 45 second break, which is going to be a multi-level drop set with tricep push down. This one is what I call the multi-level drop set. I also call it throwing the kitchen sink at it. And basically, I'm going to use rest pause to do the same weight twice if it feels good, and then do this weight till failure, do partials, knock it down 1 level, do it to failure, do partials, and so on. I would say this is inspired by Tom Platz because he just says use your instincts to see what feels the most painful, and that's what this is. I call it throwing the kitchen sink at it just to get them destroyed in 1 go. Okay, that's 5 reps. I'm using about 88 pounds, so I'm going to take a bit of a rest pause, not too long, and then knock out a couple more. There you go, 7. So this way I'm working the point right at failure. Okay, I cannot do partials for that one. So knock it down a little bit. Now, I won't be able to get a lot of reps because I'm already at failure, but I'll work my way down the stack like that. The combo of everything, that, this pre-exhaustion with the ignition set, it really does work well. By the time I'm at this step, the triceps get engorged with the pump. All right, those 11 partials felt really good. I can't quite get full reps anymore, but those are nice, the 11 partials. Now the funny thing is this weight feels so easy, but it becomes hard soon. All right, time for biceps. So barbell curls. All right, time for arms. Okay, so usually I take 80 pounds and I do 10 full reps and then 6 partials. Today I'm doing it in the squat rack, which you shouldn't do, especially if the gym is busy, but there's good lighting here. So this is actually 85 pounds, a little bit more than what I usually do, but let's see how it goes. Take a rest, pause. All right, that's 9. Take a rest, pause. All right, that's not happening. Okay, I need 6 partials now. So actually I don't do a lot for arms. I just do 2 sets of those. Although the second one does have a drop set and partials on both levels of the drop set. But basically, it's just 2 working sets of barbell curl. And barbell curl because the last twist of the pinky gets the last bit of the contraction. So if you use the easy bar, you're going to be hitting the brachialis instead of, I mean, you'll hit the bicep too, but the bar is more bicep dominant. Okay, I'm gonna take about a minute more rest and then one more set. All right, working set number 2. This one's a drop set. Both have partials and 6 plus 7, 5 plus 5. Although I might not be able to get 6 because it's a little heavier than I usually go. That took all my effort. I need one more rep though. So I'll take a rest pause. All right, got my 6 partials. This is what I mean about intensity techniques. I'm doing 2 sets, but they're supersetted with partials and drop sets. You start combining these techniques and pushing hard, you'll grow, and you'll grow fast. Especially if you do the 3 protein shakes per day trick, each with a scoop of creatine. No calorie counting needed, nothing like that. You could, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just not how I did it. All right, drop set. So 65 pounds. Partials. Okay, so my forearms have such a pump that if I press them, they just spring back. My arms, complete failure. So that's what I mean about pushing to failure. Use rest pauses, drop sets, and all of that. All right, let's go check out the pump. Actually, I still have to do calves, accessory lifts, but then we'll check it out. All right, time for calves. So what I usually do is I usually do an ignition set with a weight that's not too heavy. And I actually can't find my entry for the weight, so I'll have to guess, but it's about 20 reps. I'm gonna use 40 pounds. And that's gonna be for pre-exhaustion. And pretty much I'm going for the deepest point of the stretch, right? And that even burns without even a single rep. So I start by finding that burn, and then 20 reps with partials. Or as close to 20 as I can get. They're close to failure. I think I usually do it with 20 pounds. Alright, that's 9. And switch to partials. All right, that was the pre-exhaustion set. All right, one working set for calves. Now I only started working out calves about not that long ago, like 3 months ago, and they've responded well with this technique. It is a multi-level drop set. Each level has partials, as usual. If you fight for it like an inch at a time, a millimeter at a time, you can usually get a couple more. Just fight a bit, pause, fight a bit, pause. Okay, they failed. Partials. That's pretty intense. Okay, I'm gonna knock it down from 90 pounds to 80 pounds. And then repeat and find the position of maximum stretch. Wait till it burns right there. Burn increases, go up. Slowly, pause, and then repeat. And partials, they failed. They're on fire. Yeah, I see people online doing like 100 reps, and I don't know. And I do them like this. Mine fail around 9 to 10 reps, just like a normal muscle. Partials. Okay, I skipped a level, so now I'm at 50 pounds. Take a rest, pause. Give it a bit of a flex. I feel it right here too. Not just here, but actually lower than that too, which feels good. They're being hit well. Yeah, that stretch position is really good. And I'll just work my way down the rack. These are called run down the rack style drop sets, I believe. Burning intensifies. Alright, find the stretch. I feel the greatest stretch when I'm kind of letting my feet roll off. So I just feel the burn that way. And then go back on and start my rep. Like all of this you wouldn't do in weightlifting. These are hypertrophy specific techniques where you get the max stretch, partials, and all of that. Mind you, there's of course a lot of weightlifters with really impressive physiques too, so definitely more than one way to go about it. But that's how I did it. That's how I put on the 40 pounds over 24 months. Okay, I'm just gonna roast them with the partials now because they're pretty much done. I can barely lift them now. That feels wonderful. All right, that's it for calves. All right, time for the pump check. Pretty solid workout. Felt really good. Shoot the tricep. All right, you know what? Let's start with front double bicep. I got better at the vacuums. Took some practice, but worth it. All right, back double bicep. Definitely can feel a pretty good pump. Let's do front lat spread. Out and thigh. Also can't really see my thighs, but side chest. Most muscular. The tricep. That's it for today's workout. We did shoulders, biceps, triceps, and we did 20 rep hack squats with 2 plates per side, max set of pull-ups plus partials for warm-up. Took me about an hour. Solid workout. I'll see you guys next time for legs, where we're gonna go bananas on 20 rep hack squats.
Hey, are you interested in project management consulting? Check out my blog where you can get a free roadmap on how to earn $10,000 per month or more in BI-FinTech consulting. That's business intelligence, finance technology consulting. Pretty much that's a fancy way of saying project management consulting in software data projects. This is my core expertise. I studied aerospace engineering, then pivoted, then became a professional project manager and cloud solutions architect. I can teach you how to do this. If you're looking to supercharge your career, be sure to check out my blog and roadmap. Totally for free, link in the description.
The key to stimulating muscle growth is the intensity of the exercise.